My name is Natalie Milko and I'm designing a tiny house. A few months ago, Ryan and Heather Teeter introduced me to the idea of helping them design a tiny house. Recently, they've decided to start living simpler and in a smaller space. The research I've conducted while designing a tiny house has been through flipping through construction books, consulting with colleagues as well as professors, and also I've used computer programs like AutoCAD and SketchUp to help the tiny house dream become a reality. When designing a tiny house, there's many things a designer needs to keep in mind. Space planning, the overall flow of the space, as well as maximization of storage are all very challenging components. My education through Valdosta State University's interior design program, as well as my work experience at VSU's facilities planning, have both contributed to the knowledge that I've used while designing a tiny house. The tiny house movement began about a decade ago and has recently become popular through TV shows on networks such as HGTV and others. Tiny homes range anywhere from 100 square feet to 400 square feet. Compared to the average American home, which is 2,600 square feet, you can fit roughly a dozen tiny homes into one normal size home. The tiny home I'm designing for the Teeters is 8.5 feet wide by 26 feet in length and will be built on top of a trailer. A lot of people like to compare tiny houses to RVs or mobile homes. However, the building techniques that are put into building tiny homes are very similar to that of a traditional home. The overall flow of the Teeter tiny house can be broken down into 4 sections: the living area, the kitchen area, bathroom area, and also the sleeping area. The aesthetics that are put into a tiny house are also similar to that put into a traditional home. The Teeters wanted to go with a more coastal style with their tiny house, so we've achieved that by using whitewashed walls, different wood elements, and a light blue color palette. I've created the framing plan through SketchUp as a way to look at the skeleton of the building. The research I've put into designing this tiny house will definitely help me in my future as a designer when designing small spaces and living environments. If you'd like to follow the rest of the tiny house journey, you can follow their blog at teetertinyhouse.com.